Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Suwon Tian, and my number matrix is A212950. Today I will talk about tutorial 6, question 1, part 1. I will show the initial money supply curve. In this diagram, the vertical axis is the nominal interest rate and the horizontal axis is the quantity of money. The downward sloping is the money demand curve, and the vertical MS curve meet at the equilibrium point, which show the interest rate at which money demand equal to money supply. That's all for me. Thank you.
Let's move to the 5-6 question 1, which is the question is using a money market diagram, explain the effect of a decrease in the money supply on the interest rate and explain the effect of a decrease in the money supply on the interest rate. Show how the money supply curve shift to the left and describe the new equilibrium. Can you sketch the diagram? Okay, I sketch my diagram for me to understand. So first you need to make a diagram which is for your Y is interest rate and your X is a money market. Okay, can you take a look at that? Okay, the question as they mentioned is explain the effect of the decrease in the money supply on the interest rate. So when they said decrease, money supply will shift to the left. Okay, so a decrease in...
Hey, let's dive deeper into Keynes' liquidity preference theory. This is how he explains how interest rates are set. First, let's clarify. Liquidity preference just means people's desire to hold money instead of other assets like bonds. Keynes says the interest rate is the price of holding money. It's what you give up when you hold cash instead of buying bonds. Now, let's break down the two key pieces, money supply and money demand. First, money supply. This is completely controlled by the central bank. On the diagram is a vertical straight line. Because the central bank decides how much money is in the economy, regardless of the interest rate. So if the central bank prints more money, this line shifts right. If it reduces money, it shifts left. Second, money demand. People demand money for three specific motives: transaction motive, precautionary motive, and the speculative motive. When interest rates are high, bond prices are low. They move in opposite directions, so people buy bonds and demand less money. When interest rates are low, bond prices are high. People worry rates will rise, so they hold more cash. On the diagram, MD is a downward sloping curve. As interest rates fall, people demand more money. As rates rise, they demand less. So, how the interest rate is determined? The equilibrium interest rate R is where MD equals MS, the point where the downward sloping MD curve crosses the vertical MS line. Example, if the central bank increases money supply, shifts MS right. Yes, the new intersection is at a lower interest rate because there's more money available, so the price of holding money interest drops. Example 2, if people's income rises, so transaction demand increases, MD shifts right. The new equilibrium is at a higher interest rate. More demand for money pushes up its price.
Welcome and hi everyone, my name is Muhammad Eka Hakimi and my matrix number is A212942. Today I will explain about my part for this question. According to the classical theory, the interest rate is determined by the interaction of saving and investment. Saving represents the supply of loanable fund and is positive related to the interest rates. Investment represent the demand for loanable funds and is negatively related to the interest rates. The equilibrium interest rate is determined at the point where saving equals investment. As we can see, if the interest rate is above the equilibrium level, saving exceeds investment, creating excess supply of loanable funds and causing the interest rate to fall. If the interest rate is below the equilibrium level, investment exceeds saving, creating excess demand and causing the interest rate to rise. That's all for me. Thank you.
Okay, so next I will explain for money market and interest rate determination. Okay, I will explain for the summary for all question in that file. Okay, so for summary, the file explain how government spending and interest rates effect and the economy in the Keynesian and classical model and the fixed money wages. The Keynesian AS curve is horizontal. Okay, so increases in government spending raises output significantly with almost no rise in prices. Under variable money wages, the AS curve is upward sloping. So with the same increase in government spending causes both higher output and higher prices, making fiscal policy less effective. Okay, and the file also showed that a decrease in the money supply raises the interest rate because the reduced supply of money creates a shortage, leading people to sell bonds and pushing interest rate upward. Finally, interest rates are determined differently in the two approach. Keynesians argue that the interest rate comes from the interaction of money supply and liquidity preference, while the classical view states that is determined by the equilibrium between saving and investment in the loanable funds market. Okay, so this is for my answer for summary, and that's all. Thank you.